Well, it sure is a more, cloudy, but still relatively pleasant moonlight, so let's get up.
I can see the stars, so that's a positive.
Yeah, well, remember, we're still in the irithyll section, so, there's still a bit of Aurora Borealis. Um, then again, anyway, I vanquished the knights that were protecting this place, and let's see. Uh, it's mentioned here, hidden path ahead,
Nah,
therefore try attacking.
I thought they were just having a little nap right next to you.
However, this normally was supposed to be okay. This normally was supposed to having a sectional covering this wall, but because it's part of our side quest we're about to perform, it's open, and there's another pilgrim actually ready to talk to us. Let's talk with this individual.
Welcome,
I guess this
gracious
person knows
lord.
Yuria as well.
Your
Oh,
spouse
oh,
awaits
I'm
you.
getting married.
You
Really?
are very
Look,
near.
as long as Anri is
Please
okay with this, I guess, but
take
I
the
really don't
sword
see it, if I
of
to be honest.
Renown.
We really did not have that
Well,
much,
May you be
interactions.
the truest lord of Londor yet.
I don't know, I'm starting to think this Tinder operation might be a bit rigged. Also, I guess I need a ceremonial sword. Let's give it a look in the meantime, because I'm pretty sure it's an unequipable item.
the
Uh,
sword of a vowel.
a wool. Ceremonial sword of Londor cannot be equipped as a weapon. It is said that a rite of wedlock will presage a true Hollow Lord. Your spouse's name is Anri, who patiently awaits a rightful lord deep within the mausoleum.
But I've
Well,
never met Henry.
well, let's see. Good luck ahead. Okay, am I gonna have a boss fight or something? And we get the brass set. If you forgot, the brass warrior was actually a Firelink maiden in the first game. Again, more callbacks. It's weird, this corridor also looks slightly familiar. Almost as if there was supposed to be something else.
This is such a weird mission. You start it off, bam, you're married. Well, I've never heard of a mission that started like that in anything.
Anri, are you
Well,
okay?
not even you don't even get to see the marriage. Just bam, you're married.
Okay, let's ignore the messages. But, Anri, are you sure you're okay? Well, let's see if the cutscene actually makes it better. Uh,
Is this our is this our
here we go.
spouse?
Till Undeath us to part. This scene should be very tragic, but I cannot help but notice the fact that my arms are clipping through the big head.
This is also this is the first time I've heard of this of the MC having a spouse.
Not just that, I really start to think Yuria has a very different concept of marriage than mine. What the fuck happened?
What are you talking about? Those marriages happen all the time. It's going to be the marriage of the future. Yeah, it's what will happen in the like 1,000 years or so when you can get married and become a widow/widower at the same time.
And we get 3 dark sigils. Let me see if, there you go. A black gaping hole in the flesh that resembles the brand of an undead. The darkness of humanity seeps from this bottomless pitch-black hole, the gap filled by the accumulation of the curse. This dark sigil will never heal, but there is a tale told of a firekeeper who returned from the abyss and brought great comfort to the bearer of the curse. The last paragraph
Not
is there to potentially foreshadow something that you can do potentially optionally, but go on, Dweebs.
not sure whether that marriage idea I had will catch on. I mean, all the bloodshed and
Well, have you
everything.
ever seen War of the Roses, Dweebs, as in the movie?
I don't think I have though.
It has Danny DeVito as the lawyer of the couple, and it's and he's the most sane person in the entire movie. That should tell you everything.
How does that even
So
work?
Don't open the chest. Oh.
No, don't worry, this one was not a mimic, thankfully. Again, though, this corridor has something, and the presence of the Silver Knight is just... I wonder.
Also, Dwebs, you can't, like, say no to every chest.
And, oh,
It's a chest in a game like this. I don't trust
also,
them.
the pilgrim that was outside the corridor died as well. And we get the chameleon spell. If you forgot, this was also a thing from the first game. Properly, I think it's labeled as a miracle, but essentially it's especially for PvP trolling, because it allows you to mask yourself as an object of the background, so you can literally get invaded and try to play hide and seek by hiding in the scenery and see if, the invader can spot you. It's actually very hilarious. But there's still something very wrong in all of this. I know it's very obvious to say, but first bonfire, we're gonna need to have another chat with Yuria, to be honest.
Too many dead people for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's Dark Souls. Everyone's dead.
Again, the thing, however, is that, I know the deeper meaning in all of this since I already played this enough times, but for a first time, let me share the experience that I might have had also on my first, time. Also, this mechanism, I've seen this one too. This rotating stair. For my first time, I probably would have, you have to go out of your way to actually make this happen. But the thing is that I think what potentially not ruins it, but sours the experience is that Anri really has almost no agency in the matter when you get down to it, or if the character has, it happens off screen. Which, to be fair, it happens with a lot of characters, in the Souls games, so it is to be expected. But I don't know, just feels there should have been like an extra conversation where Anri accepts to be, your significant other for this. But again, like I said, it really feels like Yuria has a very different concept of marriage, but what do I know? Wait, okay, now this is getting more ridiculous. Let me see, by getting out of the stairs.
Spin, spin.
Oh, well, I guess we are back in Anor Londo after all. Huh. This is basically the big nostalgia moment. Believe it or not, this is not Hidetaka Miyazaki trying to run on the nostalgia pandering that a lot of properties, try to have, because this is a tradition as old as From Software games, because as soon as their third major release title, Kingsfield 3, if I recall correctly, yes, towards its climax, you have to a retreading of the very first level of the first Kingsfield as well. So once again, this is, if anything, this is Hidetaka Miyazaki respecting the legacy of the company that he's part of. That's pretty neat. Anyway, let's go talk to Yuria. Give me just a second, Wave. Sorry, because I need to sort this out.
Our lord and liege. I presume thy holy vows are sworn? Wonderful. Now thou art the true and deserving Lord of Hollows. With the spouse, the strength to claim the fire is thine.
Again, I don't know how you people marry in Londor, but your expectancy of life might not be that, prolific if you keep doing it like this.
All Londor embrace thy
Till death
impending
do us
lordship.
part. I mean, the death is right away.
Our lord and liege, I prithee, play the usurper. When the moment cometh to link the fire.
But yeah, with this, everything is in place. All we need to do now, well, not now, but eventually, is to just finish the game, and with all of this, we have unlocked that fabled, secret ending that you'll be able to see. I'll be able to tell more when we eventually get that. Believe it or not, we're not too far from the end of the game. We're entering the last third, basically, at this point.
It shall be who
Not counting the DLC, obviously.
of mankind.
Let's see if you have something that interests me. No, not really.
Be safe, our lord and liege. I prithee wrest the flame from its mantle.
Gone in the meantime, Glibs.
I have seen a film in the cinema recently.
What
The
was
2024 remake of Nosferatu.
Oh, right.
Just
Have you
good
tried
what
to
needs
see
to.
the original, like I said?
I haven't, no.
Like I said, it's on YouTube because it's, public domain, so if you want, it's there.
Pretty big.
Perhaps.
In the meantime...
Not right now. Not right now. No, the recent one was scary enough, thank you.
Well, the original managed to be scary in its own way. It's a very old film, meaning that it was filmed in 18 frames instead of 24. So it has that kind of, extra fear going on, especially when you get the classic scenes like the Count staring into your souls, basically. But in the meantime, as another update, both me and Shiri have finally managed to see Sonic 3 in theaters. I cannot speak for her.
Yay.
Yeah, I cannot speak for you, Shiri, but yeah, I did appreciate it.
I really liked it.
Yeah, I did too. I can finally mention it.
To not go too much into details for, staying relatively fresh with the spoilers, even if this part will probably be made public, at the end of January, but still, nonetheless.
Still quite new.
What I really liked, for something that had to be expected, obviously, even from the marketing, the way they make the interaction, obviously, between Shadow and Maria. I know it's too obvious, it's kind of a thing, but before Shadow Generations, the major interactions that we got was in the proper, Shadow the Hedgehog game, as flashbacks. Even then, I argue, weren't that much, so this movie takes advantage of that to try to explore a bit more, and I think they nailed that. Anyway, it's time to take a leap of faith, believe it or not, because walking like this, from this particular angle, there's a invisible path that allows us to get to this isolated tower. I don't even know how that is possible, not sure, whatever. Thankfully there's not a bonfire. Yeah, it's probably magic, we don't have to explain shit. And there's someone to talk with. Another fair maiden with, let's see if I can use my binocular to show. No, because she turned her face. Basically, she has pointy ears and another dragon fluffy tail. A bit like Priscilla in the first game, so let's talk to her.
Name thyself, stranger. I am Yorshka, captain of the Dark Moon Knights.
That's her name.
What beckoned thee to such a place?
Well,
if thou'st come stumbling here in error, I bid thee leave anon. This tower is a prison. Thy presence shall invoke the ire of the tyrant.
Oh, don't worry, Miss Yorshka. I kind of dealt with that asshole already.
With another. My thanks, strange visitor.
She sounds familiar.
May the dark
Well,
moon
can you
watch
check her
over
voice
thee.
actress, Dweebs? Her spelling is Yorshka.
Thou thinkst to remain? This tower is a prison. I bid thee. May the dark moon watch it.
Well, okay, fair enough. I don't remember. Basically, she's part of the Dark Moon Covenant, similar to one of the first Dark Souls game, but I don't remember what the conditions are to trigger her dialogue. Otherwise, she's basically there. She's not plot critical. Anyway, let's try to jump down from bit by bit of the tower to see if there are treasures.
Martha McIntosh.
I think I heard that name already, so I'm pretty sure she might be a regular of, the Souls games. We get the Painting Guardian set, another callback to the first game.
Well, most recently, Martha McIntosh has been in Elden Ring.
Okay, so like I said, semi-regular for...
As Melina.
Oh, okay.
And in terms of what IMDb says about her, she's been in stuff like Arknights,
Oh, so she's
'Cause,
she's in video games. She's a video game regular.
Yeah, because I think Arknights is one of those half British, half American voice
Classic,
casters.
yes.
Among other stuff, and she's also in an episode of Midsummer Murders.
I guess it's the British equivalent. Okay, again, British long-running series, so it's not too surprising.
I think it's easier to name what actors haven't been in Midsummer Murders here in the UK.
Was David Tennant in an episode at any point? I don't think
I know
so.
he was in I know he was in an episode of The Bill, where he played a crazy nutter.
Fuck. Yeah, let's say that we don't actually have to jump down. Basically,
No,
for just to let you know, descending down like that will basically bring you back to the church that was in irithyll. Basically, this tower is connected to that one church. But thankfully, since we can teleport between bonfires, we don't have to do anything. So, since we also don't have any souls, let's do something that we kinda could have done since the beginning of the game. Let's see. It's best to teleport here. It's something that is technically optional until a certain point, but for the sake of enjoying most of the game in a particular fashion, we kinda have to do it now. You'll be able to see eventually what I mean when I explain it. We return to the high wall of Lothric, specifically where we faced, Vorts of the Boreal Valley. Thankfully, the enemies at this point should be kind of a cakewalk, so there you go. There you go. Stay there. What we need to do is to re-enter that church that had that old lady that gave us the banner. We'll be able to see just in a second why. Let me just pop up also an ember. Let's see if she has anything to say.
What is wrong, unkindled one? Are you not a Lord Seeker? Head to the base of the high wall and seek the Lords of Cinder. Is this not the calling of your kind since ages past?
Alright. This next choice is a bit weird. Do you care more about... well, okay. I guess you can formulate it this way. How much do you care about the side quest that Sigurd, the guy with the onion armor, has been doing until this point? On a scale from 1 to 10, Lives?
5.
Okay. What about you, Shiroi?
6 or 7.
I deemed it successful enough for you to care, which also means, unfortunately, we have to slaughter the lady.
Oh, great. Unnecessary.
Now, mind you, I will explain that in just a second.
Seriously, at least when I kill people in a video game...
Listen, I meant it too, okay? I'm not invested.
There's a purpose.
Mind you, let's pick up also the item here. A Basin of Vows. Can I just place it already? Oh no, that's because killing with the death of the old lady, this triggers another boss fight. By having the doors of the church closing. keep in mind, like I said, you can do it as soon as you get to this place in the early game, mind you. It's very recommended that you don't, because this boss fight is more on the level that we are right now. So in early game it would have been very, difficult. Turns out Wort, like we mentioned, was not the only emissary from the Boreal Valley. He was accompanied by someone, and that someone decided to strike now. The Dancer of the Boreal Valley. Very sleek, very elegant, and with a very dreadful, music theme. I really dig this boss fight. Let me just, explain quickly. Oh shit, she already grabbed me. Fantastic. Let me just do this. Give me a second. Because this fight requires probably a bit more concentration than anything. The big problem with this boss fight is that it doesn't start immediately, but the Dancer will eventually start chaining attacks over and over and over and over and over again. So meaning that you have to either have a good resistant shield or be very good at dodging. So okay, now it's time to pass on to the attack. Oh, fuck me, she grabbed me again. Oh, this is embarrassing. Yeah, definitely embarrassing. Well, again, we can potentially postpone this on another time, but I can use this time to explain. After you defeat the two remaining Lords of Cinder that are right now, namely Aldrich, the Saint of the Deep, and Yorm the Giant, you'll be automatically teleported to the old lady, and she will die automatically. You will have to kill her, and this will trigger the boss fight already. The problem is that if it happens immediately after you defeated the third Lord of Cinder, meaning that one of them is attached to the side quest that Sigurd is doing, meaning that it will deprive us potentially of a resolution to that, and I kind of would have preferred for us to stick to that. So, since the old lady had to die anyway, might as well get this out of the way now. But it's pretty also clear that the Dancer is still a bit out of our league, so we'll get back to her too. So, for the time being, let's continue to in the direction that we had here in Anor Londo. As soon as we get there we go. And yes, like I said before, they did not even chickened out. It's not like they even copy-pasted the same exact models. This is basically a recreation using the engine architecture. You can tell it's slightly different for convenience sake, like the staircase is much more larger. Well, it seems that there are mostly only Silver Knights here, I wonder. Alright, we're gonna try to ignore these guys, otherwise we'll be stuck here for eternity.
As any sorcerer knows, sorcery is the talent. At least, how many times can you put sorcery in the same sentence?
Blame the translators or the text translators, I don't know what to tell you.
Is there some cursor app that triggers every time you say the word sorcery?
Oh no, it's like that NPC in Link the Faces of Evil that she uses a lot of alliteration. I forgot what's her name, basically the one that enchants the shield. It says something like cursing the cursor with twice the curse.
Probably called annoying cursors, a bit too much of a fan of V for Vendetta. Yeah, I like that movie, but
that's his whole shtick, Dweebs. Trust me, Dweebs, in Italian dub, I mean, you can kind of hear that the translator had to be very painful, had a very painful job in trying to maintain the alliteration of his dialogue while trying to match up all the words. They managed to pull it off for the most part, but like I said, you can feel their pain, basically.
I mean, I think it was a little easier because you don't see. These
Oh no, it's not the
these
little movement. It's not a matter of the tempo of the wording. It's more like the matter of, you know, the exact matching of the words, what their significance is, and everything. Blah blah blah. You know.
That's an interesting thing. It's a solid enough British accent, and it comes from a guy who's both. He's British/Australian.
Okay. Alright. I forgot we discovered that while we were watching the Hobbit trilogy. My bad.
I just looked up Hugo Weaving on Wikipedia, and it's got 2 pictures of him at premieres. One at the Matrix Revolution, where he looks really, really depressed, and then at Return of the King, where he looks a lot more happier.
I can't imagine why. Anyway,
I'll print screen it and show you guys.
With the knights defeated, let's see. Unfortunately, much like with the first game, the doors of the cathedral of Anor Londo are, you know, blocked, so we need to find another way to get inside. Alright, let's see. Got our soul of a warrior. Alright, on the right side there is a knight that doesn't seem to be very friendly, so we're not gonna have to deal with him now. Luckily, I know, if I recall the places, you know, that were in the first game, like for example, the blacksmith, the giant blacksmith that was in the first game. He was very friendly to us, so maybe, you know, he left the place and, you know, maybe he left us a trinket or something. Let's see where he was standing. Oh. I guess he did stay too. No comfort ahead. Oh no. Time for you, don't deserve this. And in his hands we find the giant's coal. Let's see if we can find infos. Coal used for weapon infusion. It is said that the giant blacksmith of Anor Londo was once the blacksmith of the gods. Give to the blacksmith in the shrine to allow the use of gems for lightning, simple, and chaos infusion. So yeah, it's not just a nostalgia trip, it's a sad nostalgia trip. All the things that you loved about the first game, they're dead.
Yeah, but normally these kinds of scenes provoke ire amongst people.
I get the idea, Waves, considering the atmosphere of this game has always been, you know, more on the gloomy side. I get it, you know. Oh Jesus!
I can imagine if other series started doing that. I can imagine if other series started doing this. Welcome to Sonic Generations 2. By the way, all the characters in the first generations are all fucking dead, including Sonic. We're playing a Sonic's twin brother.
Play Shadow Gens.
Anyway, there's another. I don't know if you noticed when I pulled up the camera, but let me just do it again, just for the sake using also the binoculars. There's another one of the fuckers that we faced in the Cathedral of the Deep hanging right up, and I think it's gonna ambush me if I get, you know, under him. So, fun times ahead. But yeah, looks like the Cathedral of Anor Londo is not really in a good shape, infested with grime, thankfully it's not poison, and deacons of the Cathedral of the Deep, which also means that Aldrich is probably close enough. Meaning that we might be close to our second Lord of Cinder. Let's see what we get here. Moonlight arrows, probably up for Gwendolyn. Beware about ow. Let's see, since again I remember the mechanism, it should be still here.
Hey, I was reading that.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go, the fucker dropped just like I said it would. Piece of shit. But thankfully this should open the doors of the cathedral of Anor Londo, meaning that entering again should be still easy enough. The slimes thankfully are more, can be ignored, they're not particularly deadly, but the monks definitely, needs to be dealt with. In the wise words of Civ11 towards the rise of the Triad, it's all monks again!
I used to try to request of these skeleton cloak things to try to kill me.
Well, more than skeletons are just regular undeads, some of them are a bit more, bulky than others, but, they're not definitely skeletal in general. There we go. Roof of Concord Cap. We already got one of those items. Oh. There you go. Are there any more monks that I have to deal with? Oh, right there.
More fire.
Yeah, more fireball. To be fair, Shiroi, I don't know how much they told you about this in Golden Rule about, role-playing. In case of doubt, cast fireball.
Wow, it would be a shame if that was a spell I had access to, or...
Did anyone taught you not to be a pyromaniac, Shiroi?
Hey, listen, I'm at least responsible with arson.
Okay. Let's see if there are any. No, not a single evocational sign. Meaning that whatever's behind this gate, we have to deal. If you forgot, in the original game, in the first game, behind this gate there was the dynamic duo Dunkstein and Slamo, or aka Snorlax and Pikachu. Here, there's Aldrich, and the blob monster that was at the beginning of the game seems to have instead devoured poor Gwendolyn, meaning that we get also a reprise of the theme of that boss. This fight is a bit tricky because Aldrich uses a lot of magical attacks. The most deadly one is what I'm about to use now, the Rain of Arrows, because it keeps chasing you. But there are a lot of other projectiles that are annoying as shit. The good side is that the good news is that the boss is relatively easy to target, and thankfully, since I'm facing him solo, doesn't have too many HPs. But you still need to watch out of the spells. Again, the Rain of Arrows is deadly as shit, so... Ow.
Well, I think this is our first Dark Souls stream of 2025.
Yes.
Any games you guys are
looking forward to? Doom, The Dark Ages, absolutely.
I'm interested in Gex Trilogy.
Let's see if I can hide behind the pillars.
Deltarune chapters 3 and...
Which hopefully, as Toby Talk said, will be arriving.
Chapter 4 is currently being bug tested for PC, so I don't think they're far off.
No. Much like with Pedro, I want to keep also an open mind towards Ghost of Yote, just, to see what they're gonna do story and gameplay wise, especially because it's been a very long time, since the first game.
Also, the game's technically already out, but
yeah, obviously
Mysteria will be coming out of early access later this year. So it'd be nice to have the full game.
That's the thing that I think.
Go on.
That's the funniest thing, though. I think out of all the I think the Gex trilogy thing is like the most excited I am for a Square Enix game this year.
To be fair, Waves, we haven't announced yet that much in terms of releases for this year, you know. But I'm pretty sure they will eventually, you know.
Yeah, probably. What else is there in 2025?
Okay. The Ryuga Gotoku studio just had a proof, by the time we're recording this, just had a proof of concept of how the new Virtua Fighter will look like, but that is still a long way down, so I don't think it's gonna be released this year.
Let's see. The remasters. Oh, there's the Tomb Raider 4 through 6 remaster.
Can't wait, Waves, to play the Angel of Darkness again.
Well, who knows? Maybe it'll be an Angel of Darkness that controls well.
From what I understand, it's probably just a simple polishing tool, nothing more. But you know,
Yeah, it's probably not gonna be anything.
Preservation and anything, I get it. It's just that I don't know. Like, I might as well, you know, I'd rather take that over, you know, not having it on purpose, you know, for the sake of saying, oh, it was a bad game, so let's not include it. It just still feels a bit odd, nonetheless, you know.
Just going through month by month. There's a Godzilla strategy game coming out, at least in Japan, at least I don't know about the rest.
I remember it being announced, yes.
Well, there's a new, like, a dragon game.
Yes, the pirate in Hawaii.
What else?
Okay, it's not stated yet, but if I recall correctly, in the best wishes for the new year, the person in charge of the new Jet Set Radio did mention that they are aiming for a release this year, so we'll have to see if that happens. It's part of that initiative that Sega had for its revitalization of its IPs.
Football Manager.
I mean, sure.
It got delayed.
There's also, okay, people are speculating that Creative Assembly might have a new Total War in the works, but the problem is that Creative Assembly has bled a lot of people recently, so I don't know if that's gonna happen or not.
What else is not really all that much.
Okay, as Konami mentioned, if they are planning Metal Gear Solid Delta being released this year.
I don't know.
I forgot about that.
Oh, there's Croc.
They were mostly focusing Shiri on the Silent Hill 2 remake in 2024, so obviously they're probably instead gonna focus on Delta moving forward when it came to the high budget remake.
It's Croc.
There's also the Bubsy collection from Limited Run Games. Can't forget about that too.
Wow, Jesus Christ.
Again, thanks Limited Run Games pisses me off in a lot of ways because they had the potential for this auto preservation and sometimes they actually manage to pull it off. But equally a lot of other times they want to be meme lord and trying to revitalize, you know, games that honestly probably should not have that much of a, you know, priority.
How the hell are you gonna fix Bubsy freezing?
We had mentioned already stuff like, you know, Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, but for example, they collaborated with the person that made those HD versions of the CDI Zelda game in order to make a spiritual successor, which honestly, it's a cute idea, but the gameplay is still not particularly good, so...
There's a CDI game.
Yeah. it's a shame because, you know, the percent opportunity to refine that. There was a foundation that could have been worked on, but they just decided to not do that much and focus mostly on keeping the presentation similar to those games.
That's the thing though, if they change anything like that, it wouldn't be a CGI game.
Well, I'm talking about tweaking the gameplay in order to make it more, you know, less frustrating. That's what I meant.
But as for the Bobsy one, I mean, I've got 3D on an actual physical PlayStation disc.
Well, I guess at this point, if this new version is good enough, you won't really need it anymore.
I bought it for like £3 years ago. From a shop that isn't even open anymore. And now I find out that it's been remastered amongst all the other Bobsy cack.
I mean, you cannot even really say that you lost that much money because it really was £3.
Sure, I guess. Yeah, and that's as for recording, I'm probably only gonna do 3D because I mean I'm bad enough at 2D games, but remember a 2D game where you're going too fast.
The thing is that with the ironically enough, 3D is still the worst game. Not that the others are masterpieces in comparison, but they're at least a bit more functional, you know.
I mean, there's that Atari Dagger game.
Yeah, Fractured Fury Tales, but as some of me Johnny mentioned, it's possibly the worst of the 2D titles, even if by accident, basically. Alright, let me give a quick look to see if there are any summoning signs. I'm not sure I want to deal with Aldrich completely.
I can already imagine it now. Some people will be tagging those poor voice actors on social media that hey, this game you were in's been re-released. Like Rob Paulson, so I'm never going to hear the end of it. Neither is Annie Bella.
To be fair, if I recall correctly, the new voice of Bubsy since the Woody Strikes Back has been Doug Harrells, I think. So
yeah, but I'm talking about the games that are probably going to come out in this compilation. The older ones, I mean.
Alright. Let's see if we can make it another try. Otherwise,
These game design is wonderful!
yeah, otherwise we'll continue with the dungeon. Yeesh.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna do the Bobsy voice too often because it annoys me when I do it.
Aldrich, interesting enough, as an extra weak point in the form of Gwendolyn's body, even if it's just, you know, a puppet that the blob is controlling, so I don't even know why that's the weakest point, but sure. But because of the slick movements, it's a bit hard to, you know, actually hit consistently. And yeah, you may notice that for the second phase, Aldrich activates automatically the Lords of Cinder power-up, meaning that the embers, you know, are part now of the body, and the attacks are, you know, powered up accordingly. There you go. The cool thing is that you can still hit the boss during the teleportation moment. So there is that. You also have to watch. Oh, fuck, more arrows.
Oh, I've been playing. Since I got Sonic Origins Plus, I've been playing CD. I can't get past the Metal Sonic race. So bloody close. I can't. I keep forgetting where the spikes are and everything.
Skill issue.
Like the level design for that fight is weird, and Mania doesn't really do much to improve it.
I say that, but I didn't even got to that myself, so don't worry. So like, I'm on a better ground than you.
I mean, I always struggle at 2D. I struggle at 2D games. I mean, hell, I was amazed at I can get past the pinball fight in Collision Chaos.
Oh well.
See, that one is a test of your sanity.
Yeah, it's a test. Yeah, it's a test of sanity. Playing pinball with weird physics, all while the Santana guys are doing the music trying to scare you.
Also, Dweebs,
US soundtrack, I should say.
Yeah. I don't know if you played that. I don't remember if you played that, but how will that compare to having to play Puyo Puyo, or sorry, the Mean Bean Machine minigame in the Sonic Mania for Chemical Plant, the boss fight?
I haven't got that far.
Okay.
But to me, yeah, that does sound like hell.
That's the thing, sure. That's the one thing that I never understand. Outside of the very original, which might have had some, licensing issue, almost every time Puyo Puyo had to be released in the West in some capacity, it always got reskinned as something else. It's either Kirby or Wario or Pokemon.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's the thing that feels weird to me. Not so much, the fact that they couldn't just, properly import the original Japanese version, but they had to systematically change it in an inconsistent way to something else. Thankfully, these days we seem to have finally stopped doing that. There is that.
I mean, we have 2 Puyo Puyo Tetris games.
Yeah, I've actually tried one of them during a party recently. They actually have their fun.
I do enjoy them, but there is one problem. I'm only good at one of the 2 games.
Oh right, causing having to multitask. All right, we're back in the cell, so let's try to see if we can get past the giant instead. We'll get back to Aldrich as well another time. Otherwise, I will try to grind a bit off screen, in order to raise a couple of levels. No.
Yeah, it's a funny thing. For years, I always thought the US boss theme for CD was done by the regular Spencer Nielsen crew, but no, it was the ex-Santana guys he brought on.
I mean, sure.
The AKA the people that did the Collision Chaos and Metallic Madness music.
Also, it's funny when you say that, Liv, because every time you say about Santana, the only thing that I think of is the guitarist.
That's a bit. I don't even. I guess he wasn't. I guess that guy wasn't on the CD team, because I don't remember there being any acoustic guitar in any of the tracks that they did. I mean, there was an electric guitar.
Alright, we're beelining like last time, so...
Oh, apparently, have I said it? I don't know if I mentioned this in the previous part, but apparently Criterion are going to, the Criterion Collection, they're going to release, they've got the rights to release Godzilla vs. Biollante.
Oh, right, yeah, you mentioned last part, if I recall correctly.
Yeah,
Biollante.
But yeah, if it gets a UK release, I'll be looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
Although the Return of Godzilla still hasn't, it's available on Amazon Prime, but not physically.
Again, bizarre movie rights, nothing too new.
Yeah, and again, it's an English dub of the original version of the movie, not the Godzilla 1985 re-edit. So unfortunately, that means I won't get to see all the Dr. Pepper product placements.
You can't fight Kaiju's Dweebs, without being in good shape, don't you know?
Or Raymond Burr looking pissed at a character trying to pull off a little weird joke in the movie. Because that's the thing, when they were doing the American version of Godzilla 1985 one, they originally wanted to do a comedy gag dub / reshoot of the movie with all the American scenes. But when Raymond Burr came on board,
he had the common sense to tell them to fuck off. Thank God.
Since he worked on Godzilla King of the Monsters, he had enough clout at this point to say no.
What's the innate desire for, not all of them, obviously, but, specifically for the movie industry mostly, to have the instinct of wanting to do a gag dub immediately of a foreign product? Because, again, it's not the first, not even the last time that it has happened. Like, for example, with the movie that you guys made in Britain, the Magic Roundabout, which, thanks to the fucking Weinstein Company, they turned into a farce.
That's the thing, though. King of the Monsters wasn't a gag dub of the original.
I'm pretty sure none of the major Godzilla movies were, gag dubs until that point. So, no, really, I don't really see why they should have done it. Even for the worst of the products. Oh, good, yeah, a shortcut. I found the shortcut that allows me to bypass the giant. Hooray. We get a pickaxe, also more rats. Jumping required ahead before tri-ring. Specifically referring to the cat ring that allows me to sustain more falling damage, but I'm not gonna do it now.
Listen, the only bit of dialogue from the whole tongue-in-cheek comedy idea that they somehow managed to get in there was it was when Godzilla was destroying a city, and one of the characters said, "That's quite an urban renewal program they got going on over there."
Let me be relatively clear. I enjoy stuff like Mystery Science Theater 3000 just as much as the next guy, So I have, the appreciation for someone riffing on a movie, and also having an ironic way of mentioning, dialogue in the movie and everything. But I kinda had to still question, when it has to happen in a specific capacity. Not a few by this point, but, years ago we did proper commentary on, I forgot the name. The anime, Ghost Stories, there you go. Which infamously was turned into a gag dub, although as far as we understand it these days, it was not anymore for the reasons that we believed, the idea that they were afraid it was not going to sell in the West, and it had not sold that much, in Japan, but still, and the final product, despite having a lot of humor that has aged horribly in a lot of places, there's still a kind of prototype charm to it, but thankfully these days releases of the anime in the West include both versions of the dub, a more straightforward one and the gag dub, so at the very least there is that. But again, just a kind of natural instinct, because I despise what the English dub did to Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. It is a silly show in nature, yes, I will not deny that, but what they did feels really like just taking it too far. Anyway, we have two amazing chests ahead. Now I'm gonna tell you immediately, just to give you a bit of an edge. One of them is a mimic, the other is not. So what do you say? What is spot the mimic, Dweebs? Is it on the left or is it on the right?
That's the problem, the perspective keeps changing.
I stopped now, so you should be able to see just a few.
The one without the one without the curly tail on the Go for the one on the left. That's not a mimic.
Left, you say that it's not the mimic. So you say that the mimic is the one on the right, correct?
Yeah.
What about you, Shirei? What do you think? Is it on the left?
I'll go with Dwib's answer.
So you're saying that the mimic is the one on the right and we should open the one on the left. Let me use the wants to be a millionaire, phrasing. Is it your final answer, Dwibs?
Yes.
Yes, final answer.
Should we light it up?
Yeah. I already said final answer. It has to be.
Oh, we have the extra bit in the Italian version that says, do we light up the answer?
Okay.
And no, Dwibs, the one on the left was the mimic.
Yay, now I can blame it.
What did I get wrong?
Thankfully, surprisingly enough, he did not hate me immediately, but, I appreciate that.
What hints did I miss?
You got it right, but you got it backward, basically. With the curved tail, it is the mimic, with the one that it's, upward. So next time you'll probably get it right. And we managed to beat it, and we collect the Dark Clutch Ring, which we don't really need it. So the other is a regular chest, and we get an old cell key. And I think we're gonna have to, analyze later because we just triggered a bunch of basilisks. What the fuck? What are you doing there? Leave me alone, I'm busy. Let's get instead here. Oh, look, more giant rats instead. Lovely. Go. You postulant rodent. You'll get more dung pies. Thank you, game. Alright, let's check on that damn old cell key. Key to the oldest cell in the irithyll dungeon. The first prisoner of the dungeon was a lone giant. Cells for men were built at his feet. This is a hint in where you can actually use it, so in the actual room with the giant on the ground. I'll probably use it off screen for the sake of convenience. So we raise it up here, and like I said, there is no boss in this dungeon, but this room comes very close because it's a room that has a fuck ton of jailers in them. So we're gonna try to ignore them for the time being and move instead here. Because if I recall correctly, I can unlock shortcuts by standing here. Oh. This place looks lovely. Let's see. Yeah, Dragon Torso Stone. And there are a bunch of people, including the statue of a dragon, performing a particular gesture. I'll keep this in mind. Let's see what they say. Bonfire ahead? Not really. And if only I had a head. I mean, that's Dullahan talk, I guess. So let's take the elevator. Sorry, it leaves no elevator music chance. We get from this corpse a large soul of a nameless soldier. And if I recall correctly, it unlocks a shortcut. Sorry. It unlocks a shortcut to a previous area. It's not immediately at the beginning of a dungeon, but it's close enough. So, at the very least, if we die, we don't have to trek all the way through. At least we get a lightning blade spell. Don't need it. Alright, let's see. Unfortunately, we do have to eventually get back to this room. We just have to kinda sort of stealth our way through to make sure that we don't piss off the too many jailers at the same time. This is a particular big cell with a lot of the golden dragon, beings, so fortunately it's best if we attack them first because they're not... only the first one was, non-hostile, unfortunately. these ones will eventually attack us if we just stand nearby. Defeat these guys. Thankfully we do not have that much poise despite everything, so here you go. Let's see what they were guarding. A profane call, which again we can use at the Firing Shrine. Let's see. Alright, there's another chest, but we'll do that in the next part, probably, for the sake of, you know, not clogging too much time. Let's see, is anyone we sell? No? Okay. We get... Oh, fuck, they spotted me. There we go. Okay, let's see. The dust cloud. Ah! Now I heard that. Xanthus ashes. One at a time, please, people. Let me out! Let me out!
Say please.
I don't think I am, you know, having to uphold, having to say please to the likes of you people. Sorry.
At least try.
Alright, let's make a beeline out of these, because I know there is a bonfire nearby, and they will not follow me down these stairs. Yeah, there you go. We get Large Sword of the Warrior, and we're about to get to the bonfire to end the part. Reaching the Profane Capital. The other... Oh fuck, I forgot that there's a gargoyle here. My god, I think I got the wrong turn out to Kirk. Yeah, let's try to beeline more. Ignoring that, we don't really have the time to fight that. Okay, if I recall correctly, it's up this ladder or step ladder, if you wanna be specific. Yes, there you go. Oh, and also to conclude the part, I don't know if it's a bit hard to spot, but let me see if I can use the binoculars. This corpse. This is Laddersmith Gilligan from the second game, the guy that sold us the ladders. I don't know what is he doing here and why is he dead, but I quite frankly don't care. So, with this we can finally end the part. So tune in next time, where we explore finally the Profane Capital, and hopefully by that time I would have, you know, gather a bunch of levels for that. So see you for that.
See ya.